Now, when Ric Flair left and went to WWF at the time, and he took the belt with him.
Right.
And some of the guys we've talked to, they said they found it really disrespectful that Rick would take the belt, like it was almost hurting them by taking food out of their mouth.
When Flair took the belt up there, it wasn't that long after that I got to go to New York and be Razor, and Razor was getting a big push, and so they put me with Perfect. You know, Kurt Hennig was on disability, so he was retired, and he was in a great spot. He was an announcer. He already had the reputation as being a great wrestler, so he was a kind of liaison between the boys in the office. He worked with Vince on the Superstar shows as an announcer. He was with Heenan, he was with Flair, and they put me with those guys. So that's about as high as you can go on the heel totem pole at that time.
Yeah.
So, and I remember that now they did weeks and weeks of vignettes of Razor before they go in there, and my dreams are coming true. They are going to push the heck out of me, and I'm really happy about it because Kurt has helped me from the AWA days, and he's continuing to help me. Now he's telling me, you know, how to get over with Vince, what to do in the ring, no wasted motion. You know, don't just do something because you can. You know, don't just do a move to a guy because you can. And like he taught me, because back in those days there were squash matches. You know, you'd have a guy from the audience against a guy who was getting paid to wrestle. And Kurt said, don't go out there and hammer a guy with a bunch of devastating moves because you got to wrestle for 4 or 5 minutes. He'd say, hit the guy with one thing and then just stand there and go, look at you now. Look at you. And I stole from Kurt to just pushing your toe on the guy or just go, look at you. You know, because you don't want to keep hitting the guy with devastating stuff because you're killing your stuff off.
Yeah.
So Kurt taught me that. He said everything you do has to have a purpose. No wasted motion. Don't run around. Always act like you know what you're doing. You know, like when you're in the ring, he taught me that you can't afford to buy that kind of TV time. Like every time you're out there, it's a commercial for you.
Huh. So
take your time, look in the camera, move slowly. But then when you do something, do it explosively, but then look around, because Vince's key camera guys are slick. They ain't going to miss it. You know, they're going to catch it. You do something cool, it's going to be on TV. So he taught me that, but I remember that now I'm with Flair, Kurt, and Bobby Heenan. And so now, my first angle is going to be against Randy Savage, against Macho. It's Machismo against Macho. So, in Hershey, Pennsylvania, now they set it up by doing it in Wembley at SummerSlam. They injured Randy's leg. So the whole storyline now is Randy has an injured leg, Flair does a figure 4. They're going to take the strap off Savage and put it on Flair. And we're in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and the angle is supposed to be they're wrestling. At a certain point, I'm supposed to go, Savage is going to go to the floor. I'm going to come out. Vince wants me to kick him in the leg one time, throw him in. Flair's going to put him in a figure 4. Randy's going to not give up, but pass out. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
So we're there, and I'll never forget this. I'm standing there waiting by the gorilla position because I'm going to, I have to go when I'm told to go. And I don't know if Vince did this to teach me a lesson or just because that's the way he felt. But they go out and they wrestle for about 10-15 minutes, and he sends Heenan out. He goes, go out there and get them back here. Because this is before live TV. Heenan goes out, says something to him, they both come back to the back. And Vince reads them the riot act. What the F is that? You look like 2 jabronis out there. I told you to work his leg from the beginning, blah, 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 blah. And I'm standing there going, whoa. That's Ric Flair and Randy Savage getting yelled at. What if I screw up? Holy shit. You know what I mean? I'm not sure the ink's dry on my contract yet. Holy cow. And he's yelling at these guys are major players. And so he sends them back out and tells him work his leg from the beginning. The whole storyline is his leg is injured, work his leg, work his leg, work his leg. So Rick does. They send me out, I kick him in the leg, I roll him back in. Rick goes another 5 minutes before putting the figure 4 on. Vince is furious. By the time the thing airs, I kick him in the leg, roll him back in, he's in the figure 4. But I remember when we're sitting in a little conference room talking about the meeting, you're talking about the thing with Flair and the belt, this is where this long rambling story is going, is that I remember kicking when they're talking about doing it, because I didn't like Flair, because he was in control of my career when I was in WCW, and I didn't like the way he was treating me. You know, and so, and like at the same time, when you don't have anything, you have power. You know, Razor hadn't made a dime yet, so I ain't afraid to say, fuck you, Flair.
Yeah.
What, are you going to fire me? Shut, go back to the strip club. And they're talking about doing the thing, because I've been talking to Kurt about, man, wait a minute, how do we know we can trust Flair? You're going to put Vince's belt on Flair? He took Atlanta's belt. Like, this is the guy you want to carry your banner? Because I didn't like Flair, so I didn't really want to play on his team. And I was about to tell Vince, you sure you trust this guy? Because he's the guy who fucked Turner Broadcasting. So I'm starting, and then Vince goes, is there any questions? And Kurt put his foot on mine and tapped me on the foot like, don't say anything. Because I was about to go, yeah, I got a question. You sure you can trust this guy? But Kurt gave me the office with his foot, so I didn't say anything. But that's my answer to you. I agree. I thought it was completely unprofessional and very wrong of Rick to take the belt. That's not the way Rick does business. Now, I don't know the backstory. Maybe they screwed Rick over and he felt the need to do that. I don't know Rick's side of it. I just know as a wrestler, that's the wrong thing to do. Like when me and Kev left Vince to go to WCW, we did jobs on the way out. We did jobs at Madison Square Garden. Nobody ever did jobs on the way out when they were high up. Yeah. You know what I mean? We didn't have to, but it was the right thing to do. We didn't want to screw the fans.
Yeah. In WCW, what do you remember about your matches with Brian Pillman when he was the Dirty Yellow Dog?
I never wrestled him when he was Dirty Yellow Dog because he was a babyface and I was a babyface.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys did wrestle some matches
together.
Well,
maybe when I was a jabroni, like cowboy, like mustache guy, and then I don't think as a Diamond Stud I ever wrestled the Yellow Dog.
Okay.
Brian was really talented, was getting a big push, you know. He was a good guy, good talent, and they liked him.
Yeah.
But like, my career was I was so low on the food chain then that every once in a while I'd be thrown in a match, but I was of so little consequence that I don't remember any of that stuff. You know?
Oh, okay.
I know Brian did great, and actually that Yellow Dog thing was something that was ripped off that Barry Windham did in Florida.
That's right. Yeah.
That's when it was done right.
Yeah.
When Barry did it, it was sweet.
Yeah. How did you come up with what was then the Diamond Death Drop, then later the Razor's Edge?
I just was trying to think of just a cool move. You know, actually, I think I stole it from Danny Spider. Is that what Danny said?
I forget. I don't think he did.
I think because Danny had been working in Japan, and what Danny did was one time I saw him pick a guy up for like that old style backbreaker like this, and I was just trying to think of, because I remember when I was sitting there thinking, how come I haven't made it? I think I got a good body. I think I can talk. I think I have a good enough look. Why aren't I successful when all the guys I started with are successful? So I started studying all the dudes who were on top and looking for the common denominator. Not so much like stealing their moves or anything like that, but what's the common denominator? Because I was a huge fan of guys like Jake and stuff, Jake the Snake. So I went, okay, you got to have a look. Not everybody has to be a muscle guy, but you got to have your look.
Yeah.
You got to be able to talk. You got to have a couple of signature moves. And you got to have a cool finish. That's it. That's what all the top guys had. You only need 3 or 4 moves. Like Jake had just a couple of moves. So all I had was, you know, I had sack of shit. You know, I actually started using that Razor's Edge Diamond Death Drop in Puerto Rico. I did it to Carlos Colon. Because that's where I just practiced it. Because I went like this, and a lot of the guys in Puerto Rico were littler, and I was bigger then. So I just started practicing. And the first couple times I did it, man, I was landing on my elbows and stuff. You know, I didn't know what I was doing. I was dropping guys on their heads, but it was cool looking. I'll never forget the first time I did it, when in Atlanta, and Bobby E went, man, that's a cool finish. I wouldn't want to take it, but it looks cool. And like what I call sack of shit, that they call fall away slam or whatever. I was in the ring, I was working with Carlos Colon, and I said, duck the clothesline crossbody. So I caught him, and you know, gave him a sack of that. And I come back to the locker room and he goes, hey, amigo, what was that? He goes, you throw me like a sack of shit. and from that moment on, it became sack of shit. Like when I'm in the ring with dudes I know, I go, duck the clothesline, sack of shit, you know. But I just kind of developed that stuff in Puerto Rico, because I really learned a lot in Puerto Rico about how to get over, you know, how to You know, it's a real violent society, and to get over, you gotta be a badass. You can't be a cartoon. You gotta be a serious heel. Because I didn't want to be a ha-ha heel. Like Chief Jay Starmer used to say, too much ha-ha. Like, I didn't want to be a comedian, funny heel. I wanted to be like a serious badass. And so I learned a lot of that in Puerto Rico.